Hi, everyone. This is Mitch from PickDogs.com. Of course, Steve Monahan with me every Sunday here for our live show. It's NFL Sunday, Week 10.
Yep.
We got 2 more weeks of these lighter schedules with 13-game NFL schedules. Then we head into Thanksgiving week. So it always feels like a lighter schedule that week, but because of the 3 Thursday games. But after that, be full steam ahead. So 13 this week, 13 next week, I believe, then 14 with the late Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving week. But anyways, coming off of pretty fun college football Saturday. Got to say, most of my dog picks came in. Most of my favorites, at least on my premium picks, didn't come in, except for the big favorites, Army and Cincinnati, and then Georgia. Other than that, for me, it was all dogs, App State and, App State, Tennessee. We had a few other games like that Iowa and Kansas State. Just a bunch of games like that came in. But really, the big story, from Tuscaloosa, Alabama I think they pretty much got run. And this reminds me of a lot of the Michigan-Ohio State game a few years ago where Michigan kind of dressed up the score at the end, but they were never really in the game.
No, I agree. LSU really took it to them. Joe Burrow is now the favorite for the Heisman, you got to think.
Well, you got to think that's his to lose at this point. But the other thing that you have to say is that, playing the soft schedule, it does nothing for you. And I don't see how Alabama gets back in. Of course, they're going to. We all know they're going to get back in.
They're not getting back in this year.
Yes, they are.
They hit it right on the head, the schedule.
No, they're good. It doesn't matter. They always get back in. And
not this year.
They did last time, and the last time they had a bad loss like this was the year that Ohio State beat them up with Ezekiel Elliott. I just don't think this is a great Alabama team. I just think you can't reload year after year after year after year. I've seen this before a million times in college football, just like we had seen that Penn State-Michigan game a million times. The only difference in that game was, it was exactly how we called it. Came down to the last second. Penn State was exactly on the field where we said they were going to be. Exactly. They threw the exact pass that I said they were going to throw. Only the receiver got held from behind and the ball went into the hands of the defender. He doesn't get held. That's a touchdown, and it's the exact, basically, we've seen it a million times over and over again. But wasn't meant to be. But we saw Tua get absolutely slaughtered yesterday. Really, I know you could say he threw for 400 yards or whatever. Once again, a couple dunk passes that went for big yardage. But other than that, I thought he got pretty beat up. Any other notes from that one?
What, Alabama and LSU?
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Yeah, because I just
LSU came in and really they were the better team. To your point, Alabama wasn't really in it, and you give up 40 plus points and you score 40, but I think the 40 that Alabama scored, they were behind. The whole game. So Joe Burrow again, we just talked about him. The kid really played a good game. This kid is throwing high percentage balls, and he ran too. So, to your point,
I think the blocking for LSU that Burrow's getting back there.
Not bad.
Not bad. how about the support of the running game, number 22?
Hey, the kid had a great day, man. That's
on the big stage.
Some tough runs. Especially, there was an underrated run late in the fourth quarter. A couple minutes to go. This guy carried the pile for freaking
for the first down and the touchdown run.
Totally, man.
No one could lay a glove on him.
Yep.
So, of course, we fast forward to next week. Auburn's playing Georgia. Alabama's playing 4 and 5 Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like there has to be something.
I don't think Alabama's going to get to the conference championship game. So
I think what we have to have happen.
They're not going to make the top 4 this year.
I think what we have to have happen in college football, at least within the conferences, and the out of conference, I understand is the whole scheduling thing. But I think what has to start to happen within the conference, and it just has to be done quickly after the season is over, is kind of the way that NFL does it, or the way that they used to do it, where depending on where you finish in the conference is how you schedule. So Alabama would have to play from the other side, Georgia, Florida, as opposed to
Mississippi
Tennessee
State and all these.
I mean, it's Ole Miss. It's just
Arkansas.
It's not right when Auburn has played LSU, Florida, Oregon, and now they have Georgia next week, and Alabama plays Mississippi State, and they're going to beat them by 100 and dress it up for the polls. And then meanwhile, in the other side, the Baylor Bears, remain undefeated once again, hanging on by a skin of teeth, making it very, very exciting. Now they play Oklahoma, who held on against Iowa State. Matt Campbell's team, who's
Hey, they gave Oklahoma everything they had, so that's for sure.
But now Baylor plays Oklahoma next week, and there's going to be a big number on that game. We already know that. But that should be an interesting matchup. And then the last story we'll get into before we start doing the picks is it's one pick per person. I already see one up here that has like 10 things in it. We're not going to look at that, but it's one pick per person, and Team A versus Team B with the point spread. But Dion Waiters had a panic attack after eating an edible on the flight. Steve, have you ever had a panic attack after eating something or ingesting something? I did, and it wasn't necessarily a panic attack. I think they call it something else, but let's just say it was at a Grateful Dead concert in Hartford, and I rode this guy Bubba's bus, and everybody on the bus kind of did something before, and then I don't know.
There were chocolate chip cookies and milk on that bus. I can tell you that.
I can tell you one thing. I wore my Grateful Dead. I used to keep a bandana with me. I never wore it. Was one of the head bandana wearers, but I would bring it with me. And let's just say I wet it and had it over my face for about an hour at one point during the night. But anyways.
But it was a great show. It was a great show.
The wheel came on and it only got worse. But anyways, Dion Waiters, I don't know.
Let's move on from Dion Waiters. Let's hope his panic attack
everyone that's joining us. Remember to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Our subscribers are really growing every single day. I appreciate everyone that's subscribing to our show and joining us for our live show and asking questions and saying hello. And even if you don't say hello and ask questions, if you hit that thumbs up, greatly appreciate it. Get to the first game. The Bears against the Lions. Stafford out for this game now.
Yeah.
I don't know who the Lions' backup QB is, to be honest with you. And I'm sure
used to be Dan Orlovsky for about 10 years, but
it's like I guess it's time to maybe look at that. I had already bet the Bears on this, and we had talked about this game a lot, and I almost made this game a premium pick when I was putting him in, and I'm glad I didn't because there has been a gigantic line move since I put mine in at the Bears minus 2.5. Broken bones in back.
Yep. I mean, Stafford really's got to be hurt because he's a tough quarterback. He rarely misses time, so he's got to be banged up. But I picked the Bears on our preview show. I'll stick with the Bears. I think Stafford being out only helps the cause. And they're missing Kerryon Johnson, their best running back, too. So
I think that's the problem, but
line up to 7 now.
It's 6.5, 7, but Jeff Driscoll is the backup quarterback for the Lions, and this is a guy he's played. He's out
of University of Florida, right? Jeff Driscoll,
Florida, and then he transferred to Louisiana Tech.
Right.
Where he finished out his career. He was the Florida quarterback. He was injured. It was one of those he got Wally pipped, and then he transferred to Louisiana Tech. And at La Tech, he was pretty good. And then he went to the Bengals. He played. The Bengals are kind of a breeding ground for the backups, A.J. McCarron. And
Karen, right.
So, you get to play, if you're a Bengals backup. You do get into games.
No doubt. You do. But I like the Bears here, so the Bears are home, and the Bears obviously been inconsistent, but I like to think the Bears win this.
I think this is a bad defense and a bad spot for Driscoll to start off and with the Lions. And without Kerryon Johnson, I think that really hurts him. He's not bad. He's better than Josh Rosen or most of these backups. Like Bobby Hoyer starting for the Colts. I'd way rather have Driscoll. Driscoll's not going to beat himself. He's not going to come out there and start throwing, 70-yarders, like Michael Vick down the center of the field. But he's also not going to beat himself. Here's his numbers. So he started 5 games for the Bengals last season, and 59.7%. So not horrific, not RG3 type numbers.
No.
6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's way better than Chad Henne. Way better,
Oh, he's pacing much better than Chad Henne.
Yeah, he's good. But so I think, personally, I think what we're going to start to see in the NFL, we've seen a lot of trends throughout the years, and we've seen a lot of slash players, like Cordell Stewart. And I think Julian Edelman was supposed to be that guy in New England who was going to be a slash player. And I think he still somewhat is, but even though he never plays quarterback, but he was a quarterback in college.
He was a quarterback in college.
I think we're going to start seeing them take longer looks at guys like Taysom Hill, and I think Jalen Hurts is a guy like that who might play another position in the NFL, but kind of like a Taysom Hill type. I think that he's very similar, Jalen Hurts, and I think as a downfield passer, he might not ever be the guy in the NFL. But I think as a Taysom Hill type player, I think Jalen Hurts actually might fit. And the more we see this with these quarterbacks, and the more that we hear Chad Henne, might actually see time in an NFL game. The more I think coaches look at guys like Hurts and Hill, who I'd way rather have me some Taysom Hill than Chad Henne. Anything but Henne is basically
So what do you like? You like Bears or Lions?
I'm taking the Bears. I like the Bears before, and I like them now with the big number. I don't care. I think I never liked the Lions in this game. I lived in Chicago, and these are generally pretty close games, though, Bears-Lions. You got to remember that some of the catch rules came out of the Bears-Lions game when Megatron caught the ball in the end zone, but he didn't catch it, and that was a Bears-Lions game at Soldier.
Right.
That's a real traditional rivalry. Morning. Rough day in college football yesterday. I don't think so. The premium area had a winning record yesterday. It wasn't like our best day ever, but it certainly wasn't our worst. We had a winning day. Plus, I think the free picks all came in pretty good for us, too. I gave out LSU, Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I had Penn State. You had Minnesota. Florida State, I had
Boston College, and I gave that as a premium pick, and I lost. I lost my first 2 games of the day in the premium picks. The games that I lost were in the premiums were I lost Boston College, and I lost Wake Forest.
Yeah, I had Wake though.
Yeah, that one to me was one of the bigger shockers. I lost Georgia State lost to Louisiana Monroe. I lost that one, and that was kind of a throw-in pick that I maybe should have never put in to begin with. I lost.
I had the Canes.
Yep, you had the Canes. They played really well senior day. They played real well. I didn't realize it was senior day, and I should have known that. We have a lot of that coming up. I lost. Let's see. Yeah,
I had Florida. Did you take Vandy?
I think
we both had Florida.
Yeah. Nah, in the premium picks, I had a couple other tough losses there, but I had Kansas State. I had Iowa. I had, and then we hit all 3 of the late ones. We had Tennessee. We had App State against South Carolina. They beat them outright. And then we had Georgia, which was, if it was a fight, they would have stopped it. And I also gave out Army and Cincinnati, which were both also winners. So, yeah, it was like I started off, I was 0-2 in the early 2 games, in games that I really thought were strong plays, And I think that the other game that I wanted to give out as a premium pick and I didn't was Illinois against Michigan State. And I just got scared off by the number because it just looked so odd. that they were 14.5-point dogs. And the other one was Iowa State. I like them also.
I was all in on Illinois yesterday.
Yeah, I went in on halftime of that game, and we pounded Illinois at halftime. So overall, I ended up, it wasn't like as big as last week's winnings in college football, but it certainly wasn't a losing day. It was a winning day for me.
We don't look back, right? We only look forward.
I know, but on my bankroll, I look at my bankroll, and I was at, let me see. I'm trying to figure out what percentage I hit, because it was my bankroll increased by over 10% yesterday. So I had to have done something right.
Sure.
And I think in the bankroll, though, when I look at the bankroll, one of the picks that hit in the bankroll that I did not give out probably is what made it, instead of like an 8% gain to an over 10% gain, was I took LSU outright on the money line to beat Alabama on that. And that was a real nice payer. Yeah. So that that always makes up for a lot. But I thought it was a pretty good day. I don't know. To me, it's football or sports betting in general. It's a grind, and you got to go 58 to 60%. And those days are the winning days. You put those together. Hopefully you have some really big winning days that you throw in there. And then you're going to have some losing days. Like last Wednesday, I went 0-4 on my picks. It was like the college football, those weekday crap games. I mean, I was terrible. It was like every bounce went against me. And then like in the NBA, I can't remember who it was, but someone that should beat the other team, laying down, lost outright. It happened I think I would have lost every game I bet on that day. And then the next day I go 4-0. It's like, that's sports betting, It happens, It's like, I never claim that I win them all, but I don't think that yesterday was a rough day. I thought yesterday was a pretty good day. And if you throw in the free picks and the halftime shows, I think it was even better than that, because I don't know. I thought Penn State was going to win the game outright, though. They did cover the second half, but I thought they were going to come back and win that game. I really did.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to go exactly how it went. Down to like Minnesota would lead, be fleck, and then PJ flecked.
Clifford got picked off in the end zone at the end.
Ravens -10 versus the Bengals. I haven't wavered on this one. I still like the Bengals here plus the points. I think it's a trap game for the Ravens, and the Bengals have played teams pretty tough this season. If the Ravens win 55-0, I'm not surprised either. But
no, I'm all in on the Ravens here. I'm not wavering on this.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Ryan Finley's debut against a good Baltimore team, so I'm all in.
Those of you just joining us, if you could hit the like button and, of course, subscribe to our channel. If you want one of your picks gone over on the show, it's one pick per person. And this is the format, Team A versus Team B with a point spread. We got the Browns -3 versus the Bills. I finally have seen some line movement in this game to make it 2.5. And, this is a game that just doesn't make sense to me. I couldn't put it as a premium pick because, once again, I got scared off by the line. And I have to be honest, I got scared off on the line. I've been getting scared off on the line for the last week and a half on some games that were intuitively winners for me that I could give out on the show as winners. And then, when it comes time to really put my money where my mouth is on the premium picks, I just leave them out. What I've been doing, though, in the premium picks, and those that have bought premium picks, you know this, is that at the bottom, the games that I don't say are outright premium picks, I say these are also games that I'm betting on, but for some reason I can't list them as the top rated games, but these are still games that I'm betting, and I count those kind of as 6 ratings. I rate the premiums are generally 7 to 8 range out of 10, and these are like in the 6 range, kind of like, like I liked Stanford yesterday, but I didn't love them. They lost, right? It's like I didn't love them. Kind of liked them, and I felt the same way with Army and UMass. It's like I really liked Army, but that's a lot of points for an offense like that, and they didn't care what kind of offense they ran. They still scored at will, but it's the type of game where it's like their offense can be so methodical down the field that you know they're going to win the game. You know they're going to kill them. But it's like if UMass scores 2 touchdowns, so they have enough in the tank to beat them by 35 points. You know, that's, you know, obviously they did. You know, I mean, they could have beat them by 600. You know, all of a sudden they became a fast strike offense. And it's amazing what you can do when people don't tackle you. But Browns versus Bills. This is an interesting one. It is back to 3. 34% of the public on the Browns here. 66% on the Buffalo Bills. Bills 3-0 against the number on the road. The Browns 0-3 against the number at home. There's nothing here that I see that says take the Cleveland Browns. I mean, there's nothing.
No, I'm sticking with the Bills. I'm going Bills here.
I think you go with the Bills. I think if you bet this game, you take the Bills on the money line.
Sure.
I don't see it. And I know that, you know, this is one of those things with the odd line movement and the odd everything else and whatever. I can't give it out as a premium pick, and I would love to, but I think I'm betting the Bills on the money line. I think that's the only way to go here.
Yep.
Baltimore, Cincinnati. We did this game. Good morning.
Good morning.
Dolphins plus 11 versus Colts. This is the video pick on the site.
No, I'll take the Colts. I know that Brissett is out again. I think the Dolphins got their 1 win, and I see the Colts rolling here.
This is a ton of points. I think the Dolphins. I think when you win a game, you kind of now learned to win, and I don't think that the Dolphins are a team that takes the winning lightly. Like, you know, yay, we won or whatever. I think we've seen effort from this team. It's just, I mean, Josh Rosen is your quarterback. You're not going to win a lot of games. You know, it's just.
Oh, you're not, apparently.
This is your best week ever. I don't know if it was my best week ever. I think with the free picks in the NBA, absolutely. I had days where, I mean, we've just torn it up this week. So I can see that, you know, where someone would say that. And also in college basketball, those videos I've been putting out. I've been doing more videos than I've ever done before. I've been doing about 90 videos a week on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I think I even do more than that. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel and checked out all my videos there, it's something you could do in your free time. I mean, I'm not a person that sits there and watches YouTube videos all day. I know there are people that do, but they're out there, and I'm doing them, and I'm actually I'm going to be ramping up my studio in the coming weeks, and we're going to take the production level up a notch. It's going to take me a couple weeks as we start to build things out, but you guys hopefully will start to see some different things there, and on this show too. Rams -4 at Pittsburgh.
I like the Rams. I think they're starting to play better. I know the Steelers are at home. Steelers are playing okay. They're back in contention in their division. But I just think the Rams are starting to play much better, and I like them to cover here. So I'll take the Rams on the road.
The Steelers opened as a 1-point favorite in this game. The Rams are now favored by 4 is the line. Kind of lost my little thing here because I have so many screens going on. Here we go. Yeah, I just think that I don't know. I think this is going to be a physical, low-scoring game. I'll go under 43.
I could see this definitely being under, but I like the Rams with the points.
One of those days where the 4 o'clock games, there's only 3 games in the late slot. Cardinals versus Bucks -5. I know you're a big Jameis Winston fan.
I loathe Jameis Winston. This is I could see this being a high-scoring affair. I would definitely take the over here. I'm not sure on the points here. The Cardinals obviously have been playing much better since earlier in the season. Even on the road, they seem to be doing okay. The Bucks, They're very inconsistent for me with Jameis Winston, but I still think a lot of points will be scored here. But I'll go over with this game.
I like the Bucks in this spot. Cross country road trip playing outdoors for the Cardinals, and I think that the thing here also is I'm just not big on the Cardinals this year, and I'm waiting for them to seriously implode, and I think they're going to have games like that. And I think the Bucks are for the 2-win teams out there, for the 2-6 teams. I mean, the Dolphins are 1-7, the Bucks are 2-6. Who's better of those two, right? I mean, it's not even close, right? You got the Giants are 2-7 and the Bucks are 2-6. The Bucks are the best 2-6 team.
Oh yeah, they're much better than the Giants. There's no question.
I mean, so it's like the Browns are 2-6. The Browns is probably a pretty good game.
Yeah.
The Bears 3-5 versus the Bucks. I mean, that would be a close game too. It's like the Bucks are the best two-win team out there. I'm gonna take them in this game.
Okay.
I like the Bucks against most of the teams with losing records. I think they would beat the Titans too. Bama got schooled by LSU. They absolutely did. They got bludgeoned. My favorite part of the game was Nick Saban right before halftime giving LSU no credit, only talking about his team's own mistakes. It's like, it's like, well, we didn't run the football. Yeah, because they shut it down. It's like, we turned it over. Yeah, because they were
in Nick Saban.
They were in position every single time, to do that. It's like, yeah, because they outplayed you, Because,
right. I mean, but that's
your guy.
He never,
instead of saying number 69 for taking that cheap shot that knocked the LSU safety out of the game, right? It's like saying, this guy's not coming out of the locker room and he's thrown off my team. Instead of saying that, he's talking about something else. To me, that was one of the cheapest shots you'll ever see, and that called for a game ejection, and I would say a suspension for the rest of the season at least.
All right.
Indy versus Miami over under 44.
I would go under. I don't think Dolphins are going to score a lot of points. I don't think the Colts will win covering, but I don't see them going. I'll take the under.
I'm going to go over. Burrow's ticket is definitely looking pretty good right now. Panthers plus 4 or 5 against the Packers. 4/5 is actually what that says, but it's 4.5 is what it is.
Well, the Packer back home after, who the hell's had more home games than the Green Bay Packers, for Christ's sakes. But they're back home. I think I like the Pack here at home.
I've been going back and forth on this game. I'm going to take the Panthers. I think what you do in this game is, if you're going to bet the Panthers, you can take it down to like plus 3.5, because either they're going to get blown out or it's going to be a late field goal win for the Packers, or the Panthers win outright. And I think those are all definite possibilities in this game, especially in that 4 o'clock time slot where there's the Rams Steelers, there's this game, and the Dolphins Colts, and that's it. So
not too many be watching the Dolphins Colts, I can tell you.
Well, I think that one might be local coverage.
Their fan bases.
Local coverage only. I think the Fox games, because the Rams are the road team, and then the other one is all NFC. I'm going to guess.
Game Rams Steelers.
I don't know what's the game of the week this week on what's considered the national game, and out of those two, my guess it's probably 50-50 national coverage, but I'm going to take the Panthers here. I just think that we're probably good with the points, or if you're going to take the Panthers, though, like I said, take it down to 3.5 and get plus 110 as opposed to laying the juice at -4 at 4.5. I don't think that extra point in that spot does you any good at all. I don't think it's a 4-point game.
Well, we just heard from Al. He says snow in Green Bay a lot. So we'll see how that affects things. But
it's Green Bay weather for you.
It's the frozen tundra.
Nick Velasco follows all of my videos, and he says, I am the best. There you go. You've heard it from Nick. The jury has spoken. I'm just kidding. I just try and squeeze out a winning day.
That's all.
Lions versus Bears. Good luck to everyone out there. This is just too much information for me to digest. Good morning to you. Yep, Jaron Williams breaking the Miami record for most touchdown passes in a game. Pretty impressive day.
That is an impressive record. That really is.
I would say that DJ Dallas is probably going to be better than Alvin Kamara in the NFL. I'll say that. He's better than him. And he's better than him he was in college, and he will be better than him in the pros. We've seen Miami running backs do it before, and I'm going to guess that DJ Dallas is going to be up there with Edgerrin James type in the NFL. O.J. Anderson, Edgerrin James. He's going to be in that discussion. He's just no one can lay a glove on this guy. I've seen Miami running backs throughout the years, and this guy. I mean, he's not going to be around next year, so there's no touting him for next year's Canes team. There's no way I don't know if he's a senior. I don't think he is, but I don't think there's any way he stays. I've never seen anything like this. This is like, I don't know. Etienne gets all the. It'll be kind of like that thing, I believe. Once they do the combine, it'll be kind of like that thing when Ricky Williams and Edgerrin James came out at the same time, and Ricky Williams won the Heisman. He got all the accolades. He got everything like that. Then they went to the combine, and the Colts had the pick, and they took Edgerrin James over Ricky Williams. And I think that we're going to see something similar here with Etienne and DJ Dallas, because I think DJ Dallas is the better back. But yeah, I would say with Etienne, you probably can't go wrong, but he's also a little bit more fragile than DJ Dallas. The Clemson running backs have not been all world in the NFL, not like the Miami backs.
And they got Wayne Gallman on the New York Giants, who had a nice career at Clemson, but the guy is a backup running back. I mean,
he's not a backup; he's a third down back.
Yeah, but he's still,
But they have an every down back.
He's not a starting marquee NFL running back.
Right? He's not the guy. He's
not.
He's not.
Nice player. Don't get me wrong.
Right. No, he's a nice player. And it's like, if he was on the Texans and they had all the injuries, he would be the starter, type guy.
Yeah. What else we got?
Cavs versus Knicks -130. I did a premium pick on this game. I also got a video out there on this, but I did a premium on this game. Steve, anything Cavs and the Knickerbockers?
Oh, God. You have to bring up my New York Knickerbockers. I mean, they're 2-7. I mean, I got no comment on this game.
All right, I like the under in that one, but I have a premium pick on the game. So
then I would go under. I mean, if you're asking me, yeah, I would go under because I see too much of the Knicks.
Steelers Rams. We did this one already. I gave out under. Steve says Steve. Vermont -3.5 versus Bucknell. Interesting. I don't think Bucknell has quite those same guys, the Bisons that we rode 2 years ago as cover machines, and then last year they had some of those guys back. Bucknell generally flies somewhat under the radar,
Vermont's a good basketball team.
Yeah,
I'll take Vermont.
Bucknell's been the class of the Patriot for a while, and Vermont in the America East, but I like Vermont, and it's like we rode the Catamounts into the ground last year, and I'll probably continue to ride them. They looked good in their opener, and I'm gonna go with Vermont here -3.5, and we're just gonna do what we continue to do. We're gonna find a couple college basketball teams that nobody's heard of, that nobody follows, that nobody does anything, and I'm gonna say their name every single day. We're not even gonna look at the point spreads. We're not even gonna look at who they're playing. It's just like automatic Vermont. We did it with Vermont, and I think we covered last year, if I'm not mistaken, 14 games in a row. They covered. They were an automatic. We were like the Vermont fan club. I had someone sent me a Vermont shirt, and it was a whole big party.
Yeah. Green and gold, right?
Yep, I still have it. we'll be breaking it out for after a few more covers. We really start getting into full stride with college basketball once after Thanksgiving when college football is over. But, we still cover it, and I'm doing videos on the site. Got a couple pretty good games tonight in college basketball. I think that Illinois against Arizona team, Sean Miller, man, this guy, I don't care what you say about his FBI phone calls or whatever, and it's like, this guy can recruit, man. He's got two guys, I mean... I'm not going to say how he recruits, but he certainly does recruit. He's got two guys on that team that are lottery picks again. Two freshmen that are lottery picks.
No, he can recruit. There's no question. He's like Eddie Sutton back in the day.
Yeah, he might be a little better at it than him. Arizona, Tampa Bay, over under 52.5. I think Steve already said that he liked the over. And I kind of lean to the over as well on that one. It's a big number. I like the over in that as well. We take the Catamounts. That train goes off until that train goes off the track. We rode Vermont all the way home last year. I mean, they made it all the way to the big dance. They went dancing, and I believe they covered on their last game. Let's take a quick look at this in Vermont. Just how beautiful that was last year. What happened was we rode Vermont. We rode them. We had like 14, 15 in a row. Then all of a sudden, word got out. Vermont is really good. And what happened was, so Vermont did not cover in their first game, and neither did Bucknell. But they did win. Vermont beat St. Bonaventure 61-59 last year outright. So last year in the NCAA tournament, it was our Catamounts took on Florida State in the first round and lost 76-69. But the joke was on the Seminoles, we were getting 8.5 once again, the cover. But what happened last year was we had rode Vermont. We rode them. And then everybody jumped on board in like early February. Like right after the Super Bowl, everyone jumped on them, and then they did not cover in 5 of 6 games. And then we got back on Vermont, and then they covered Binghamton, UMBC, and of course the Florida State. The fond farewell in the NCAA tournament. God, I just love teams like that. A couple of years ago, it was the Philadelphia 76ers when they were going through the process, and the Nets when they were in at the bottom. You find those bottom feeder teams, and they always get way too many points. But Vermont was just killing people, and nobody was paying any attention to it.
Nope.
Colts versus Dolphins, possible money line. We already went over this game.
Nope.
I personally put a little something on the Dolphins at plus 450 though. Confession. Hornets at Sixers minus 14. I have a premium pick on this game. Anything, Steve, on this? Hornets are 76ers.
Simmons is still hurt, right? He's out.
He's good for about 0 points.
I know, but the Hornets stink, man. So I'd take Philly here.
76ers at home?
Yeah.
Panthers versus Green Bay, over under 48. This game could really go either way.
True, but with the snow, I got to go under here.
I don't think the snow is even a factor these days, unless it's like coming down in sheets and there's wind.
It's Green Bay. I mean, it's going to be freezing cold as always in Green Bay.
Yeah, we saw the Wisconsin game yesterday. It was cold.
Not Giants-Packers Eli game cold. But
I know Steve lived in Florida for a little while. It's like these are always the best times. It's like when you watch on TV and you can't believe that it's cold outside. It's like I live in Hawaii. It's I can't believe that it's.
It's low 40s here in North Jersey, and winter is fast approaching here. All the leaves are almost gone, so time to button up the scarf and the winter coats and the hats.
I don't miss it at all.
I hate it actually.
We got whale season here, so on the way. Usually starts around Thanksgiving. Usually that Maui Invitational, they start showing all the whales on ESPN, and Bill Walton's out at the beach. talking about his
So it
pineapples.
shouldn't really be too much snow, apparently, from one of our listeners. But the bottom line is, I'm still taking the under here.
Bill Walton, he's always like down at the beach at Puamana. It's like
He lives a good life, that Bill Walton. Let me tell you.
I'll tell you, he really does enjoy the Maui Invitational. And
Oh yeah.
if anyone's headed out for that, let me know. I'll go catch a couple games with it. It's awesome. It's like it is.
I met Bill Walton at that show in New England at Foxborough Stadium when we were in college there. They had just won the '86 the World Championship, and you see a 7-foot tall guy walking through the crowd. Man, it was Bill Walton. Couldn't have been more personable, too.
Yeah, and this Packers, I'm going to pass on the total. I have no idea. I think this game could go either way. I'll go under. I'll go under too, but I don't think it's because of the snow. I just think the Panthers defense frustrates the Packers a little bit, and I also think the Panthers offense is not that good.
Yeah. Outside of Christian McCaffrey, of course.
Can we get a parlay today? Sure. Let's go over in the Cardinals, Bucks, the Bears, and the Bills.
Yeah, I like the over, definitely, in the Cardinals Bucks. We haven't covered yet the Cowboys Vikings, but I like the Vikings.
If you have picks like Sebastian Arnold puts here, those go in the Facebook group. This is not the place for that. Those go in the Facebook group. If you have picks, or you could start your own show, which I highly recommend if that's what you want to do. Start your own show and go on there and start giving out picks. That's how I started in 2008. Steve knows, and I just went in. I started doing videos, and I started writing articles, and I started doing all that stuff. And it's like you can do it too, but on my show, this is where we give out our picks. So we have a Facebook group for you to give out your picks, and like I said, if you want a platform of your own to give out your picks, then by all means do it. I strongly encourage it. And if you want to give out picks on our site, well, show me your resume or show me your participation in the Facebook group so I can at least see what you're about. And like Rod, we're bringing him in. We're going to be bringing other people in too. So we got 200 people watching the show. We got 66 thumbs up. I think you guys could do better than that. If you guys can just hit the thumbs up on YouTube, it's greatly appreciated. If you're watching on a mobile device, you just shrink the comments. You hit the thumbs up, and then you can put the comments right back.
We have a question about how did I do in the football game. He said Little League, but it's a football game. We're actually kicking off tonight at 6:30, but I appreciate you asking about it, and we look forward to hopefully winning the game for the 12 and 13-year-olds. So, and also I'll be doing my sports podcast tomorrow with my brother Jim. It's Sports with Mono and Mono. Find us on SoundCloud. You can find us on YouTube. So, thank you.
Giants versus Jets. I gave out a premium pick on this game, Steve.
I love the Giants here. It's the two shit teams. Let's be real here. Jets are just a complete disaster, but I can see Saquon Barkley having a big day. Daniel Jones has been turning the ball over an awful lot, but the kid is still a rookie, and the Jets just can't get out of their own way. They're still missing C.J. Mosley on defense, and the offensive line of the Jets is god-awful, so Le'Veon Bell can't even really run the ball. And
I never thought he was any good. I never thought he was like an elite running back. I thought he was always a nice running back, but I never thought he was like an elite.
I don't think exactly. I don't think of him as this all-world.
No, I never saw him in that category.
Never will.
I never saw him. I saw him as a nice back.
Nice back. Don't get me wrong. He's talented.
No, but I never saw him as like the Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith
not even close
of this generation.
Hell.
I don't even think I don't even know if he's a top 5 running back in this league. I would take Barkley over him, and everyone knows how I felt about Barkley coming in. I was wrong. I like Barkley over him. I like Melvin Gordon over him. I like there's a lot of guys.
Mr. McCaffrey.
Yeah, I like McCaffrey over him. I like
Elliott.
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott I like over him. I don't think that Le'Veon Bell has that breakaway gear, that McCaffrey and that Elliott have. Like, Elliott's a home run hitter. I mean, he hits the hole. If they give it to him, he's kind of gotten to be honest, he's gotten a little big, right, Elliott? That maybe I'm not one to talk, but I could say if he lost 15 pounds, he would be a lot better than he is now. He seems to have lost a little bit.
He is thicker, I'll grant you that.
And Le'Veon Bell did that. He had lost some weight, and he had gotten a little faster. But now it's like, I think he's too small, and he's lost that bruising ability.
Yeah.
Ezekiel
Elliott, but I like the Giants here.
Ezekiel Elliott's got a neck like, I know a guy in the collection business that had a neck like that. It's like, let me send over my friend. He's got about a 27-inch neck. You'll recognize him. He's got the 27-inch neck.
Right. Look for the neck.
It's like, I wrestled a guy in high school that he had. There was a guy in my weight division in high school that I wrestled in the Olympics, and he had only one match the entire year that he didn't pin the guy, and it was this one guy from what school did he go to? Like Hotchkiss or something. No, maybe the guy that I knew that went to the Olympics was from Hotchkiss, but this guy had a neck about this big, and he just bridged for 6 minutes with his neck. So the next question is Florida State and Florida college basketball. I did a video on this one, but this line is down to 5.5. And I don't know if Steve's been following the college hoops, but I really am on top of this game.
Yeah, I like Florida.
So here's where I stand on this game. Okay, and this is a big one, right? This is a big one. Florida State lost their opener at Pittsburgh. They let it get away from them. Leonard Hamilton coached them right out of the game. And the guys, they just got sloppy at the end, which we've seen from Florida State basketball over the years. Florida is loaded. This is a team that is easily the second best team in the SEC behind Kentucky. Talent-wise, but they're also, to me, the most confusing team that you'll ever see. It's like they kind of play such fundamentally sound basketball that they forget that you're actually supposed to score at some point. And it's just one of those things where it's like, if you want to win and you want to cover point spreads, and you got to do that stuff, you got to score. There's a reason I took North Florida as my dog of the day in their oper against Florida. Yeah, we were getting 18 points or whatever, and North Florida's got 3 guys that are all Atlantic Sun. This is what I do, right? I mean, I'm talking about the all Atlantic Sun team now. But to get away from it a little bit, I like the addition of Blackshear to Florida because I thought that he would add that scoring punch. He's about a 17-point-a-game guy from Virginia Tech. And, and he came over that new transfer rule where the guy can transfer and not sit. I don't even understand this rule. But it's like some guys can sit and some guys can't sit and, whatever it works. But his coach had left, right? And Buzz Williams went from Virginia Tech to Texas A&M, so now he's got the extra thing, so he does get to go. And Florida had guys to begin with. They had guards and everything to begin with, and adding Blackshear. Like I said, this is a team that's the second best team in the SEC, and I think that on the right day they could beat Kentucky, at home. But eventually you got to score. And Florida State's always long. They're always like a very long team, tall team. So this is going to be a tough matchup for Florida, even at Gainesville. I think Florida is the better team, and I think eventually they're going to have to shoot the ball, and they're going to have to score points. And I think this one's going to probably come down to hitting a couple free throws at the end. I think Florida's fundamentally sound enough to hit those free throws. I like Florida here. I don't love them. It's one of those. It's a rivalry game, obviously, but I just think that Florida is so much of a better team. It's just maybe I should be coaching them because I'm telling you, I would at least tell them, just don't. It's like just wait 10 seconds into the shot clock and shoot. I'd rather you do that than not shoot at all. I don't even understand it. It's like, what exactly? It's like you're in the four corners stall offense, but there's a shot clock. It's like, what are you doing? I don't know. You have like every All-American. It's like you don't even have a guy on your team that's not an All-American, and you can't score 15 points. I don't know. I'll take Florida. I don't understand.
I like Florida.
I'll take Florida here. It's just one of those things that it's kind of like, who was it the other night? Or it was a game that I watched. It was an NFL quarterback. Maybe it was a backup. I'll remember who played on Monday night last week.
Niners. Was it Niners?
Yeah, I think it might have been the Niners, and maybe it was Jimmy Garoppolo, who just sat there holding the ball in the pocket. It's like, just throw it, do something. It's like, you're gonna get sacked. Maybe it was Toledo that was doing it. That was Toledo. It was Toledo. I was like, what the hell are you doing? Eventually, you got.
Nobody was open. What?
Eventually, you got to throw the ball. Anyways, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. This is our Sunday show. Normally called the NFL show, but we throw in some NBA, some college hoops, and some boring anecdotes that probably don't make sense to half our audience and dates me, way the hell back. But It is what it is. I've been called old and shitty before, and probably won't be the last time.
Exactly. One of them.
The last.
We'll call that again very soon.
Yeah, I think what happens is the YouTube channel is starting to get popular. We're getting around that 4,000 subscriber mark. And once you break through 4,000, like 10,000 is right around the corner. And what happens is the more people that see you, then you get the pot shotters. They only come by, pick the video where you lost the game, or they'll pick the one game you lost and say, fail. Like I haven't been doing this for 13 years.
Oh, we got thick skin, Mitchell. We have thick skin.
Yes, the premium picks had a winning day yesterday. We can go through them. Email me if you like, and we'll go through every single pick. But they absolutely did have a winning day. We can let's go through them right now. We'll stop the show and we'll do them. Okay. So the first pick was Boston College. I picked against Florida State. That's 0-1. Then I had Virginia versus Georgia Tech. That's 0-2. Wake Forest versus Virginia Tech. That's 0-3.
Okay.
Then I had App State versus South Carolina, 1-3. Kansas State versus Texas, 2-3. Iowa versus Wisconsin, 3-3. Georgia State versus Troy, that's 3-4. Georgia versus Missouri, that's 4-4. Tennessee versus Kentucky, 5-4. And then I added Army, 6-4. I added Cincinnati, 7-4. Added Stanford, 7-5. That is a winning day. Yes, they did. Yep. So, yes, they did.
Oh, yes, they did.
They did. It wasn't 8-0. It wasn't 34-2. It was 7-5, and that's a winning day. It's not a great day, but it's a winning day.
That's right.
Good morning from Regina. Take the Calgary Stampeders on the spread. Okay, put that in the Facebook group. We would really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Panthers at Packers over under 48. We did that one. Here we go. Virginia versus JMU over under 124. Oh man, this is we're in those Virginia games again. Oh gosh. Normally in the Virginia games, it's weird because like it's that time of year where you have like really the end of the college football schedule, or the full college football schedule, and the beginning of the college basketball schedule. And I saw Syracuse Duke on the schedule, and I realized I was on the wrong schedule. But Virginia versus JMU, and this is interesting because Virginia games you automatically think anything over 118 is an under, right? In Virginia games, and that's Tony Bennett's style. But is JMU going to be able to stop Virginia at all in this game? That's really the question.
No, they will not be able to.
This is a good one. I like the under. It's 24.5. I don't see Tony Bennett sticking it to JMU. I just don't see it.
They're an in-state school. I can see Tony Bennett, not cutting their throat. I like Bender.
I could see Tony Bennett not cutting their throat. They're also kind of a lesser program,
Yeah.
and also I could see that him playing it straight at least the first half, where Virginia plays the Virginia style game, defense, creating possessions on the other end, and it's like, so I'll go under 124. Who knows? I mean, if Virginia certainly has the athletes to put up.
Yeah, listen, I see Virginia killing them in the first half and then taking their foot off the pedal in the second half. That's how I see it.
So the city that I live in, right? I live in Maui County, but the city that I live in is called Kihei, and Kihei Clark is on is on Virginia. I'm wondering if his parents named him after our city. I'm going to guess they did, that they probably were here on their honeymoon and they named him after our city. I'm going to guess that. I don't know, but it's an odd name,
Okay.
But it is.
It's a good theory. It's
the name of the city that I live in. It's Kihei.
Kihei. What other games we got, Mitchell?
Yeah, this is not the place to do that. James Madison, Virginia, minus 24.5. I like Virginia in this one.
Me
We
too.
just talked about it. Who do you like?
I like Virginia.
Virginia's
The
going to be tough. I
defending
did not.
national
I did.
champions.
I personally think that they won the championship last year on some bad calls. They got 2 calls in the Final Four, one in the final and one in the first round of the Final Four, that put them in there.
That was a foul. The guy didn't have any space to come down on. That was a legitimate foul, if that's what you're referring to. In the corner.
No. I'm talking about the over and backs and all that other stuff that happened.
That was a bad call. They missed that. There's no question.
So.
But Virginia,
the foul, the coming down and the foul and all that pretty much was I thought that was cut and dry. What was not cut and dry was Moss's catch there against Alabama yesterday. I thought that was a great catch, but I'm not sure if he was pushed out and reestablished and all of those things that he needed to do. But that was a hell of a catch.
That was. I agree.
The premium pick. Why have the premium picks been so favorite heavy? Let me see. Let's go back to yesterday and see how many favorites and dogs I had yesterday. I don't know. I don't think they have been. I don't know.
Yeah, we go with the team that we think is going to cover and win. I mean, it's as simple as that.
I don't know. Maybe because I think that some of the favorites are the better plays on those days. I'm cherry picking the games. Maybe he's right. Maybe some of those bad days, it's because I've been too favorite heavy. I mean, I took Oregon State on Friday. Where did that get me? We did this game, and it's Team A versus Team B with a point spread. We did it, Ryan. Team A versus Team B with a point spread. This guy didn't get the memo. It's like this is the format. Not like this. Like this. Both teams and the point spread. Chiefs versus Titans. Patrick Mahomes is back. So we have that Mahomes-Tannehill matchup that everyone's been waiting for. It's kind of like screw the Aaron Rodgers-Mahomes Sunday night game that we were going to get a couple weeks ago that we got cheated out of. We got Mahomes-Tannehill. It's kind of like, well, we're not going to get Pacquiao-Mayweather, but Mayweather's going to fight, whatever, and Pacquiao's going to fight Timothy Bradley for the 6th time. It's like...
I'll take Mr. Mahomes and Chiefs on the road here.
Yeah, I gave out a premium in this one, so I'm not gonna do it.
I can't ride Ryan Tannehill's stock much longer. Sorry.
No. Hard to find videos on certain games sometimes. I don't know what that means, but the YouTube channel, I've laid it out as well as I could. I have each sport is separated out, and the videos are separated into those sports. Now, if you click on that sport's videos, it will list every video in that sport in date order and time order. So I have a date, time, and sport if you can think of a better way to organize it, by all means, Mitch@pickdogs.com. I could use all the help I can get. Almost everything I've ever done on any of the websites I've ever worked on have come from suggestions from the audience, because you guys are the ones that read and watch and do all those things. So if you have a better way for me to do it than by sport, date, and time, I'm all ears. Alphabetical, but then you start getting like all these other ones. Geographical. I don't know. Geographical's odd, because what about these games that are being played in like London and stuff?
True.
Falcons versus Saints -13, rivalry game. I like the over.
Oh yeah, I like the over here, no question. I'll just stick with the over here.
Steve likes the over in Falcons Saints. Of course, both these teams coming off of bye weeks. It's rare that you see that. Did this one.
I think Chargers Raiders is what we're missing, huh?
Hello, gentlemen. To backtrack, the Bengals have Kareem in lineup this week. That's the Browns have Kareem.
Yep, Kareem Hunt back with the Browns.
Yeah. I don't think he's a 6-point difference type guy.
Nope.
We didn't do this game, Cowboys Vikings. So here's what's going on in this game. This game it was 2.5 Cowboys, and then it went 3, and they moved the 3 to -125 on the juice in Vegas, because one of the big syndicates out there that's been pretty good at these games is putting a lot of money in the Cowboys. That the bets that are coming in on the Cowboys are in $60,000 lots. So they're trying to move it. They moved it to -120, and when the second they moved it from -110 to -120, I think like 5 of these $60,000 bets hit or something. So it was like they had to move it again to -125. I like the Vikings in this game, but it's some pretty big money here on the Cowboys. So, and this is smart money. This is one of the syndicates that I know has been winning. A lot of these syndicates, they don't win any more than I do. And a lot of them win a lot less. But this is one of the ones that wins. So I have to respect that. But at the same time, I think Vikings are push.
Yeah, I'm a Cowboy fan, and I'm taking to heart what you're saying about the syndicate putting a lot of money on the Cowboys. I just like the Vikings here, especially Dalvin Cook. I think Cousins is playing okay. Mike Zimmer is a former defensive coordinator at Dallas. He spent a lot of time down there. I think I'll have the Vikings ready. The fact that the Cowboys are favored, I'll take the Vikings and the points here.
Well, like I said, watch out for that juice on this game. And if you do like the Vikings, so this Circa Sportsbook downtown Vegas, the new one, has now gone to 3.5 on that game, while everybody else is -125 at Cantor, -120 at William Hill, -125 at BetMGM, at Mirage, which is also MGM, and at the Westgate -120 at the -3. So everyone putting a little bit extra there on the Cowboys to try and keep it on that 3. But the Circa must be the ones getting hit on a lot of those bets and moving it to 3.5. Let's see.
So you see this question, how much money does it take to move the line 1 point, from one of our listeners?
It depends on how much is bet on the other side.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much.
It's like if there's if there's $100 bet on the game and someone bets 1,000 on one team, yeah, it's going to move the line immediately. If it's the Super Bowl, it takes huge money. Like last year, the Rams opened as the favorite in that game, and by the time the game went, the Patriots were favored quickly. So that in the Super Bowl or something, it takes a lot of money. In the Bucknell versus Vermont game, probably not as much. Now, one thing that you have to also take into account is that the Vegas sports books have been so creamed on college basketball totals that a lot of them have capped out bets on college basketball totals at $500, which is a really low number. Like you can go in and bet, $100,000 on the Packers if you want, or $1 million, on the Packers if you want. But college basketball totals, one of the easiest sports to fix. The guy misses the free throw, whatever. And also, these are guys you have to remember. I'm not saying that that the fix is in. I'm just saying that, well, here's a sport where you see 19-point spreads in games where 100 points or 200 points or 155, 160 points are scored, and a guy's at the end of the season is an 86% free throw shooter and 86.2% free throw shooter, and nobody even blinks an eye at it, but the guy misses a free throw and the game goes over or under. We see it all the time. And we also see, I talk about it all the time, and I say that most people I know that quit sports betting at one point or another, or quit for good, it's usually because of college basketball. And it's always the meaningless basket or the dribble out. And it's never because at a Texas Tech Virginia game, like I lost that game. I had Texas Tech, and I thought I won. I thought I should have won that game. But a couple of years ago, Florida's playing Syracuse. Syracuse has the game won. Florida throws one up from their own free throw line, as the buzzer's going off, and it goes in, and Syracuse doesn't cover. It happens all the time. I'll tell you who's the guy that used to do it for me, and why I used to take them all the time was Jimmer on BYU. Jimmer was the king of hitting the garbage shot at the buzzer, and it was always a three. So if you were getting 8 points with Jimmer, always good, because like they're now by 10. Jimmer's got 47. He wants 50. He wants. Jimmer needs 50. We're gonna, but that's the thing you have to take into consideration. So that's what college basketball is. It'll make a grown man cry, as they say.
It'll make it cry, that's for sure.
But anyways, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can hit the thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. Ray Kimbrell, Steve, what's your number one play? We'll go over that at the end of the show.
Say that again?
Ray is asking what's your number one play. Ray is the big Auburn fan. Ray, who do you like in Auburn, Georgia this week? Why don't I like...
I'm going to say my best bet, I think, is the Ravens covering over the Bengals. I also like the Giants to cover, too. Somebody asked about a parlay earlier. I like the Vikings, I like the Ravens, and I like the over in the Cardinals-Bucks game.
So Al is saying there's a lot of snow in Green Bay.
Oh, there is? Okay, listen. I like the under there.
We did this already. We did this one. Yeah, if I haven't said anything, I can't stand these type of questions. But like you, Manny, but I can't stand. No snow during the game in Green Bay.
All right, we got one weather and another weather. So.
Bucks -6.5 versus the Knicks. These teams are not playing each other today, so that's a really tough one. The Knicks are playing the Cavs, and the Bucks are playing against. I did videos on these games, so they're on YouTube. But the Bucks are not playing the Knicks. The Bucks are playing the Thunder at OKC, and the Knicks are playing the Cavs at home. We already went over that game. But I have videos on all those. I can't wear the Catamount shirt. Here's the problem with my Catamount shirt. It's bright yellow, and it's not on my palate. It just washes me out, man. It just washes me out. I love the shirt, but yellow, not my thing.
Oh, okay.
Portland -8.5 against Atlanta. I like the Blazers in this one. I just think that I think Atlanta's too banged up at this point, and they're missing too much. And the Blazers, I think Portland's one of those towns. And I know the Blazers are 3-6, and the Hawks are 3-5. But Portland's one of those towns that they love their Blazers. Rip City.
No, they do.
Rip City. And I just think, I like the Blazers at home, and I love when a place like that, like the way Seattle used to support the Sonics,
Yep.
The Sonics didn't leave because Seattle didn't support them. That's for damn sure, But I like the Blazers here.
What about the Chargers-Raiders game?
That game was on Thursday.
Huh?
It was Thursday.
No, I'm looking at something else.
The Raiders won by. I like the Raiders by 2.
No. I made a boo-boo. I was looking at something.
Wyoming versus South Carolina. That game I did a video on, and it's on the YouTube channel. Steve, I don't think. Steve, you have a pick on South Carolina, Wyoming? Frank Martin versus.
Oh, a little Frankie Martin. I mean, Wyoming's always been a good basketball school.
They always have 1 or 2 good players, and they got Hunter Maldonado on that team. This guy is one of those guys that's like, it's like everyone else has like 4 points. Hunter Maldonado has like 46. He's like one of those.
You know what? I'll take the Wyoming Cowboys.
Steve likes Wyoming. We did this game. Pacers Magic -4. I like the way the Pacers have been playing. It's gone to 4.5. Someone must be out for this one. 1.5.
I like the Pacers too.
Yeah, I like the Pacers, but there's something going on here because the line's got from 1.5 to 4.5. So Turner is out. There it is. Lamb is out. Sumner is out. Tazdi out. Wow. Frazier is questionable for Orlando. Ross, man, the injury list is a mile long here for the Pacers. When they, if they ever get Oladipo back, they're going to be good again. But they're not.
Sure will.
I took the Pacers in the video. I'm just going to stick with it.
Yep.
Yep. Vermont won last game. Did not cover against St. Bonaventure. I have no idea. Rod, any pick on the Edmonton versus Montreal? We did this one. Youngstown State at Louisville -26. I'm going to take Louisville -26 against the Penguins. The Ville is good this year. They're back. I'm not a big Chris Mack guy. Never have been. I thought at Xavier he had been given pretty much the keys to the Cadillac. Xavier is always one of those programs that they're basically in the Elite 8, Sweet 16 every single year, and they fly under the radar, but they still get their guys every single year. And, a lot of great coaches have come out of that Xavier program, that have gone on to much, much bigger programs. And, some of the guys kind of flopped, like Thad Matta kind of flopped at Ohio State, and, after being at Xavier. Sean Miller, of course, in that Xavier pipeline. Chris, guy can recruit. And Chris Mack, now at Louisville out of the Xavier program. And Louisville kind of fits Chris Mack. They like him because he plays that physical style, But Youngstown State, the Penguins, not a very good team.
Nope. I like Louisville here.
They haven't been good in a while, but the Penguins have been one of those teams that later on in the season when they play in those Friday night Horizon League games that will be on plenty because they'll always be getting way too many points. But Louisville put the Thunder down in Miami in the opener, and I think they do it here too. Not Little League. Steve has his game tonight. It's 6:30 at Parcells Field, named after Bill Parcells' brother. Bill Parcells, not really. And Steve, he's got the playbook down. He knows when push comes to shove, when the breaks are beating the boys.
Yep, this is our team logo too. We're the Oakland Braves, established in 1956.
I don't know if the Native American protest on the we got some issues there, but I'll say
we're gonna remain the Braves for as long as I'm in control of this squad. So.
Yeah, well, you got one thing to say, and that's fake 23 blast with the backside border.
That's right. You better believe it.
Like your life depends on it.
That's right. Shouldn't be windy tonight. It'll be a nice crisp air, and we're gonna give it our go. So. We'll see how it plays out.
We did this. Easy to hit the thumbs up. Good luck in the game.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think our shows have gotten a lot better over time, and I think it's definitely working. See, the thing is, I've known I love doing the show with the Puck Dogs, but it's kind of like they're newer to video, and also I don't know them personally as well and for as long. And the Puck Dogs are going to be awesome. I think that's the concept. and we have the right guys, that show. I mean, Rod and Chris, two Toronto hockey guys,
Love that.
Love it. Puck Dogs. I mean,
so they know I'm a diehard New York Ranger fan. So
I'd love to do a daily. I would probably move the Puck Dogs.
Talking hockey with those guys, no doubt.
I like the Puck Dog show enough that I think we're going to do a daily show with Puck Dogs. But I've known Steve forever, and that's, obviously it comes off on the show. What's your opinion on a parlay money line for Ravens Saints? Please. Any good money line bets? Yes, Dolphins. No Shepard or Ingram today for Giants. Yeah, like the odds makers don't know that before they make the point spread. It's like these are like the comments that are like, it's like everybody knows this, right? It's like, so it's in the point spread when they make the point spread. Like if Tom Brady was playing for the Patriots and they're playing the Lions, right? And
he had a hangnail,
right? And if Tom Brady's not playing against the Lions, the point spread might be 6, right? It's like it's factored in already. It's already as some people I used to know before I went into a treatment center used to say, "Don't worry, it's in there." It's already in there. It's like, man, I could really use an aspirin. It's in there. Saints and the Ravens. I took a $300 call it day. I have no idea what that is, man. It's like if you have picks, put them in the Facebook group. We did this game. My best picks are in the premium area. We did this game.
Yeah.
We did this game. BC at Florida. BC's not. Oh, South Florida. BC versus South Florida. No, we didn't do it.
No.
Let's see. First picks I ever bought from anybody. Wins. Florida State, we did this one. We did this one. Helped me $800. There you go.
Cool.
Vermont Bucknell over under at 139.5. Over for me.
Me too.
The Bisons are sneaky. They're sneaky.
They are.
Chiefs -6. That's Team A versus Team B with point spread. Toronto -0.5 versus Chicago. No idea, man. Well, the penny was brought to the show because of hockey. You gotta ask the Puck Dogs this stuff. Go to the Facebook group. They're hanging out there. Heads for Toronto, tails for Chicago. Toronto -0.5 though. The Blackhawks kind of overinvested in a couple players. I've gone over this with the Puck Dogs. We also talked about hockey fights and whatever happened to John Cordick. Blackhawks.
Well, I can't wait to banter with Rod and Chris on Puck Dogs. I love hockey.
You can come on. We got room for 4 on Puck Dogs.
That'd be great. I'd love to join you guys.
Because we could divide the screen in 4 squares. Up to 4 squares. So we can easily have you on with Puck Dogs. Right now we have 3.
Love it.
Chiefs team total 27.5. I don't bet these, so I rarely give them out, but I would take over. How like your new site? I love Pick Dogs. I think Pick Dogs, of all the sites I've ever done, this is my favorite one. And I also believe that when all is said and done, within the next year or 2 years or however long it takes, that Pick Dogs will also be the biggest site that I ever do, and it's going to be easily the best. Right now we're working on the email, is one of the things we're working on, because I don't want to email everybody just a bunch of shit that they don't want. It's like, what I'm trying to do is segregate the email out so that when you sign up for the email, you pick, these are the sports that I want. So when it's not in season, you're sending me, baseball picks all summer, and I don't bet baseball. But it's like when NFL comes back around next year, we email you and let you know, hey, we're still here for NFL and we're still doing all our stuff, or college football. Because some people, they don't bet baseball, I personally love baseball, and I understand exactly where Pete Rose, was coming from. I love it. You're never out of it until that last out. It's like highlight. How much money does it take? Well, we have this. Wow, I'm way behind on comments. I think Vikings are good on the road, and Kirk Cousins falls apart in big games.
I'd like to address that. I think that's a valid point. The Vikings typically don't play better at home. However, I've been watching my Dallas Cowboys since 1971. I'll take the Vikings here. But I respect that opinion, though.
Drew Pearson game against the Vikings.
Armin Terzion, the referee, bottle to the head in the end zone.
Yep.
My brother was a Viking fan at the time. Boy, what a debate that was in the household in 1975 in December. So, Slawback, that's the Hail Mary, hits Drew Pearson over Nate Wright. Was there some bumping on that play? I would say Mr. Pearson pushed off slightly, but too bad the call wasn't made, and the Cowboys went on the Super Bowl where they lost to the Steelers 21-17.
Yeah, I think when I move into the studio, I'm going to hang, or I don't know what I'm going to do, because it's weird, because it's like I want to move the live show into the studio, but at the same time, I don't want to move from here because I have all my TVs here. And it's like, I like working here because my wife, she sits out on the couch and does whatever. It's like normally the big TV, depending, it's like she can watch what she wants on the big TV. I have my games up top plus the iPad. There's a lot of different reasons why I stay here as opposed to having the studio. I do the regular videos. I have a studio, but I think what I'm going to do is build something back here and move this desk out, and then you'll be able to see everything back here. And like I'll have like the collage on the back wall with like the Catamount shirt and all the other stuff, and then also some shelves so people can send stuff in, and we can put it on the shelves. But anyways, it was a real good show. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
Tons of people joined us today, which Sunday's always our most popular show of the week. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. So it keeps it free. I think on YouTube, do more than everybody out there. So I took the Bears, so did Steve. I took the Bengals. I like them here. I'll tell you, I'm putting a little bit on the Bengals money line. That's just me.
I love the Ravens.
I like Bengals money line. Steve likes the Ravens. I like the Bills on the money line. Steve likes the Bills also. I took the Dolphins. I put something on the money line on them too. Steve likes the Colts. I took the under 43 in the Steelers-Rams. Steve likes the under, but he likes the Rams. I took the Bucks -5. Steve just likes the over in that one in the Bucks. So I like the over as well. I took the Panthers, and I think this is one of those games where you kind of tease the line down for less juice to 3.5, or even less, 2.5. I could see this being a 2-point game either way. I could see the Packers winning by 2. I could see the Panthers winning this game, 18-10 also. I could see this is going to be a good game. It should be a good game.
Sure,
I said that about the Panthers-Niners game, and it was not. We both took the under in that game, and I could see it going over also, though, because I could see McCaffrey ripping up that defense for some long plays, and that will open up some of the other passing lanes as well. And you can see Aaron Rodgers pulling off miracle after miracle. We've seen it before. Steve took the Sixers. I took Florida against Florida State. So did Steve. We took the Giants. Steve took the Giants. Under 124 in the Virginia James Madison game. Steve, we took Virginia -24.5. Took the over in the Chiefs Titans game. Steve likes the Chiefs. We both took the over in the Falcons Saints game. We both like the Vikings going against some very, very big bets in that game. So I tread lightly, and that's why I did not give it out as a premium pick. Vermont -3.5 against Bucknell. We both also like the over in that game. Portland Trailblazers, Louisville, and the over in Vermont Bucknell. Doesn't get any crazier than that. This is Mitch and Steve. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
It's been a great show. I really enjoy this show. We always run way too long. I would say let's keep it around an hour and 25 minutes. I don't care. I could easily go another 2 hours. But probably we're going to have a bunch of, at Pick Dogs, it's a work in progress. And, it's hard to believe we're only a month in at this point. But
stuff.
Some of the things that we have down the pipeline, like I said, the email list, will be, you guys will be getting free picks and notifications and special email picks like I've done in the past, where I only give the pick out in the email list, for certain games. We'll be doing that sort of thing again. And, the shows and stuff. Like I said, we have the Puck Dogs. We're going to have a Puck Dog show. We just need to figure it out. We need to also figure out if I'm going to be on it, because I don't really add a lot of value in hockey.
Wait, throw out John Cordick's name. Come on.
Oh, I know. I think our friend Rob Fitzpatrick would be great in the hockey show, and I also think Kyle, our hockey writer, would be great in the hockey show with those guys too.
I recommend Fitzy wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's
just a matter of getting him to do it.
Yeah.
But I think he might. I actually think he might.
You let me work on him.
Yeah, I would like to have him on. I think he would be a better MC for the Puck Dog show than me. But anyway, I like going with the Puck Dogs, and I look at things that the Puck Dogs don't look at, and that's kind of like what has made the show so far, I think, fun. Is kind of like they look at something and I'll be like, I know nothing about hockey, but this looks pretty funny from a betting perspective.
I know.
It's like 22% of the public on Calgary, yet it's gone from -170 to -120, and I hit on it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but anyways, plenty to talk about. We got real good show. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll be back at halftime of the early games. I don't know if I'll be doing the 4 o'clock games, probably not, but I'll definitely be doing the night game, the Vikings and the Cowboys. So I'll see you guys. It's not exactly at halftime, because they all go to halftime in a little bit different times. If there's one that's like way ahead of everybody, it won't be halftime of that one. It's when the bulk of the games are at halftime. I'll be here. So be sure to subscribe, sign up for those notifications. I'll see you guys later. Steve?
Hey, thanks, Mitch.
Fake
Thanks, everybody.
23 blast with a backside Jordan reverse.
All right.
And
I'll give the results.
Good luck in your game. I'll have a score update for everyone tomorrow or tonight.
I'll text you the final score.
Or you won't be done probably by the halftime of the.
I'll be done about 8:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight.
So you'll be done by halftime of the Vikings.
No, definitely. I'll let you know.
Steve might have too much champagne in his eyes to watch.
That's right.
Just remember, a quick story before we go. What the hell? Hardly anyone's left anyway. But when we played college football, intramural football, our team, the other team that we played in the championship game one of the years, was so overconfident. They had beaten us in the regular season. We were missing like half our guys. I don't even think Steve played in that game.
I didn't play that
in the regular season. They were so overconfident. It was the only game I think we lost. The only regular season game we lost in like 4 years. And these guys they had never seen us play before, and they had beaten us in the regular season. They were so overconfident for the championship game. They brought champagne to the game. They brought all their cheering section, and I think we beat them about 75-3. Like we had beaten everybody else all season long. And so you can't go in too overconfident. You got to play it like you're playing the 76 Steelers.
Better believe it. We are not overconfident going into tonight, but we are prepared. We've game planned all week, and then we let the kids go out there. It's their final game. They lay it all out on the field, and we just let them play. So
it's like the Lou Holtz. Like one thing you could say about Lou Holtz, we could call him Granny Clampett all you want, but I think that one of the things that Lou Holtz was always good at was saying, you really don't want to take this Vandy team lightly. It's like I don't really want to. I understand that these guys are Division III, but these guys, that's
true.
These guys can beat. It happens.
You better believe it. Never underestimate your opponent. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, people. And it's funny in the Facebook group. People are always like they call it a fix. It's like when something like that happens, but. The reason why millions and billions of people watch sports is you're never 100% sure who's going to win. You're never, and that's what makes it great. That's what makes sports great, and that's why and I know we have a global audience, but that's why America loves the underdog. America loves the underdog, and it's like if you're the favorite, man, you got to take care of business. We saw it in Tuscaloosa yesterday. We saw it in Minnesota yesterday.
Yeah.
You don't want to get flecked. All right, have a good game, Steve.
See you guys.
Everyone, I'll see you guys in a couple hours at halftime. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Thanks, Mitch.